This week, Epic Games and Fortnite agreed to refund $245 million to customers for supposedly unreasonable trade practices and pay a $275 million fine to the federal government for violating the COPPA rule. COPPA stands for Children's Online Privacy Protection Act of 1998. As a disclaimer, I am not a lawyer and my views in this discussion are not legal opinions or legal advice. Let's first cover the refund. After playing Fortnite, I don't think its website, the Epic Games Windows desktop application, and Fortnite game are set up in a deceptive way that tricks consumers into making purchases or makes it difficult to request refunds. Because Fortnite does not sell loot boxes and doesn't have a lot of different specialized in-game currencies, I actually think Fortnite is above average in terms of treating its customers fairly. If the FTC thinks Fortnite is set up in a deceptive way, other games might need to change their practices even more. The FTC complaint states that Fortnite supposedly made it too easy for young children to buy V-Bucks and made it too confusing or too difficult to get refunds. If this went to court, Epic's defense in this regard probably would have been that parents had complete control over whether their credit cards were linked to Fortnite in the first place and that by linking their credit cards to Fortnite they implicitly and explicitly approved any credit card charges. Epic Games also gives users the ability to request refunds for mistaken transactions, although the FTC complaint says Epic supposedly made this process too confusing or difficult. Furthermore, literally anyone who makes a credit card transaction in Fortnite can get a refund by disputing the credit card transaction with his bank. The main downside of this approach is that the player can have his Fortnite account locked, etc. However, because it's a free-to-play game, the user can just make a new account. I'm not sure if the accounts were locked on the first occurrence or after several credit card chargebacks. Even though I am on the side of Epic Games, I don't feel that bad for Epic over the refund issue. Some of the refunds will be put back into Fortnite. It doesn't look that the FTC added an additional fine on top of the refund amount. Also, by agreeing to the refunds via the FTC agreement, this could actually save Epic Games some headache by mitigating potential consumer lawsuits and lawsuits brought by US states. Now let's cover the COPPA violation. The COPPA rule that the FTC cites pertains to websites or online services directed at children under the age of 13. Websites or online services directed at children under the age of 13 are supposed to follow special privacy rules. The defense by Epic Games appears to be that it was not in violation of the COPPA rule because its game is rated T for teen and thus does not nominally target children under the age of 13. However, anyone who plays Fortnite knows that a high percentage of the player base is indeed under the age of 13. Using independent survey data, the FTC's complaint does objectively support its position that a high percentage of Fortnite players are under the age of 13. According to the COPPA rule, the determination of whether a website or online service is directed at children under the age of 13 is relatively subjective. This subjectivity paired with the demographic data of Fortnite's user base makes the FTC's determination of a COPPA rule violation seem supportable, in my non-legal opinion. Like with the refund issue, it may have been smart for Epic Games to settle the issue via the FTC agreement since this can help mitigate potential consumer lawsuits and lawsuits brought by US states. Also, the privacy changes Fortnite agreed to don't seem very onerous. The only factor that seems onerous to me might be the size of the fine at $275 million. My initial reaction was that it seemed high. However, since Epic was only fined for the privacy issue and not the refund issue, the total fine for all of the issues involved was $275 million. Let's say that Fortnite has generated about $15 billion in the US since its launch. The $275 million represents less than 2% of that revenue. Although, when only looking at transactions by players under the age of 13, the percentage of revenue calculation would be much higher than 2%. The fine might be over 10% of revenue generated by players under the age of 13. Does that seem high given that Epic's defense seems rational? The certainty of the fine amount and the potentially reduced risk of future lawsuits appears to be worth the cost to Epic Games. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please subscribe.